He died last Tuesday, but every night since, at precisely 12:07 a.m., my door is knocked 3 times. And then a voice, soft as a dying breath, whispers through the wood, "It's still me. Let me in." His name was Mr. Abernathy. He was the kind of neighbor you only read about in old books. The one who left apple pies on porches just because it was a Tuesday. The man who'd stop his car to help you carry in groceries, even if he was already late for something. And every night, the clock would tick past midnight, and I would brace myself for 12:07. 3 knocks. A whisper. I started to feel like I was losing my mind. I began watching, waiting, trying to find a pattern, and I did. The knocks were always louder, more insistent. On nights with bad weather, when lightning flashed across the sky, illuminating the street in stark, momentary detail, the knocks would feel like they were shaking the whole doorframe. When the wind howled, the whisper that followed seemed to be carried on it, curling around the edges of the door. One morning, after a particularly violent thunderstorm, I found something on my welcome mat, a Polaroid. It was a picture of Mr. Abernathy's house across the street. The house was dark, empty, just as it had been since he died. But in his upstairs bedroom window, I could just make out the silhouette of a figure. A tall, slightly stooped figure, watching my house, my door. The photo was cold, damp from the morning dew. There were more over the next few weeks. Always a picture of his house. Always a shadowy figure in the window, getting slightly clearer each time. The sounds started changing too. It wasn't just a knock anymore. I'd hear a faint scuff on the concrete landing, like a shoe dragging. Then, the soft, distinctive tap, tap, tap of his old wooden cane on the ground. The one he used after his hip surgery. My song. Another time, I was muttering to myself in frustration, and I used a nickname only my parents ever called me. That night, the whisper said my nickname. "Let me in," it pleaded, using a name I hadn't heard in years. It was listening. It was learning. It knew me. The fear became a constant companion, a cold knot in my stomach that never went away. Sleep was a luxury I couldn't afford. I was exhausted, paranoid, and utterly alone in this waking nightmare. There was nothing there, just the cold night air and the empty, silent hallway. My eyes scanned the darkness, finding nothing. Then I looked down. On my welcome mat sat a single, old-fashioned leather shoe. It was his, and it was warm, as if it had just been taken off. As I stood there, staring at the shoe, a whisper came from right beside me, right at the threshold. I forgot how to leave,